Good evening from Lagos. Sorry about the lightning. Like I'm still like doing a lot of renovation in my studio, so like not so good one. But then happy to be speaking today about why Ethereum needs Africa. And before going into why Ethereum, I'll just do a little bit of introduction about myself. My name is Awosika Ayodeji. I'm the founder of Web3 Bridge. Web3 was founded in 2019 as an offshoot of 1 million developer core that was made by Joseph Lubin after DEFCON 5. So I saw an innocent tweet. Okay, I was following DEFCON 5 on Twitter, and I saw the call about a million dev by Joseph. And in that comments, in that tweet, I made a comment that African has the intellect and the population to make 1 million developer happen. And someone saw the tweet and reached out, and that was how Web3 Bridge became a thing. Started 500 Nigerian devs for Ethereum. Our goal at the time was to only train 500 developers for Ethereum as part of the 1 million developer we needed to train. But then it's been an amazing run since 2019. It is the vision, the program became 4 years last this month on the 4th, and we've trained over 150 Web3 developers. I'm happy to say that for each ETHGlobal hackathon that has happened, one person from Nigeria, from West Africa that have come to Web3 Bridge has been there. So let's quickly talk about why Ethereum in Africa before we talk more about the impact at Web3 Bridge. So Africa has 54 countries, and we have a very young population, which means that we are energetic people. Our population keeps growing because people keep giving birth to people, to young children every time. And at each point, Africa is being treated like as a consumer. But blockchain and Web3 has made us to understand that we are no more consumers. We want more. An average African, an average Nigerian, for example, wants more in the sense that they want to make money, they want to be able to contribute, they want to be able to put their voice out. And this has been practicalized over the years. We've been training developers for 4 years. And it's amazing to see that these guys have the energy to drive and put Africa on the spotlight. We've trained developers across Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. And these guys are each day doing something like great. So, what exactly do we need these people? These people need Ethereum. Ethereum need them because we have the numbers. The numbers we have here are like Africa is one place that you can feel the impact of Web3. Are you talking about the Bitcoin adoption? I think the last statistics still shows, even for MetaMask, still shows that the largest download for MetaMask still come from Africa and Nigeria specifically, because these people are like hungry for more to send. I was on a group this evening where someone was asking for who has a platform to send money from Nigeria to Cameroon, for example. So Nigeria needs, Africa as a whole needs blockchain because we are going to be the biggest user of this solution. We are the one that is using USDT because we have a dollar problem in the continent. In Nigeria, for example, Naira keeps growing up and down, but then as they're just making these people users, these people's energy is needed to also grow Ethereum because they have energy. The population is there. Like, for example, if there is solution, let's say solution like MetaMask Trust Wallet and other all of these solutions are like adopted as much as that in Nigeria and Africa. And I can tell you honestly that we have less than 20% of Nigerians or Africans that have gotten used to what blockchain is, what Web3 is. So imagine we have like 50%. Automatically, our 1 million drive. I think almost every chain are now doing 1 billion users. 1 billion users will not come from Europe. Truth, because the population is here. So 1 billion users will come from Africa. Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, Zimbabwe. These are where the numbers will come from because we have the humanitarian needs, we have the industrial need, we have all of these needs. So imagine that we can break our technology into this ecosystem. Automatically, our users are just sure because they are there. The marketing is easy. The fund of marketing is not so much as you spend in Europe because like the billboards are not so expensive. You know that they are not so expensive. So the population is there for Ethereum to use. Also, the boldness. Like I've over the years, we've had people say African prince, African prince, African prince. But then these guys are not just Africans that are doing all of these things, But honestly, it's just because these guys are bold. Like they can boldly walk into a room and like, here we are, here we are Nigerians, we are Africans. This is what we are. This is what we can do, and all of those. So we need to harness this energy and bring them into the ecosystem. I've seen guys that I've seen guys who came into Web3 Bridge, for example, less than 1 year, started contributing to different layer twos in Ethereum. And these guys are not just contributing as developers, no, they are also like writing PRs for uh documentations and all of those stuff. And they're getting matched because they have the boldness to say, okay, I can think this through, I can learn this through. And in less than 1 year, as blockchain developers, they are contributing this much. So imagine that these guys get to become protocol developers. Let's see what they are going to bring to the table. Now, perspective. I'm sure a number of there was a joke that happened on Twitter, like on X, sorry, last week, where someone from the Bitcoin community was saying Africans are like living in the mud and all. It shows that a number of people don't really know how African is. So while we are writing our EIPs, while we are writing our protocols, our roll-ups, they did not factor in most Africans. But then we need more African into the protocol system, into the organizations, so that they can bring the perspective that tells about, okay, this is who we are. We have different markets. So we captured Europe because we know, oh, Europe has this, that, that. Latam is also almost well represented now. We need to have more Africans that talk, that tell the story, so that when you are writing an EIP, they can tell you, okay, so this node needs this to work because this is what this is going to work near. This is how this is going to. So we need the perspective from Africa. And that's why I believe that African needs Ethereum needs Africa. And I believe that since the layer, so I think the layer two talk started sometimes 2 months ago or 3 months ago. As in layer two tour, I've seen quite a number of Africans, incredible Africans, come contribute. Like seeing developers come and go through Web3 Bridge and other sister partners that we have. We partner with universities, we partner with different like organizations in Nigeria, across Africa. I think we're doing something with Web3 Africa. We're working with Web3 ladies, working with Memory. All of these projects are working day and night to bring more developers into the ecosystem. What that does is, for more African developers we bring into the system, we are bringing new perspective. We are bringing people who understand their own environment, and they can redefine DeFi in the way DeFi is into how the system works. There are a lot of things that happen in Africa that doesn't happen in Europe, for example, the Esusu, the Ajo, like all of these things. I believe that one of the success story of DAOs we've had are not from this environment, because most of the DAO system are not designed to like understand this environment. But then if we can incorporate the cooperative societies that have been within the African continent from centuries and bring into the DAO system, we see how successful this is going to work. So this perspective is one of the things that we need to bring into Ethereum, bring into other layer tools. So I believe that Africa needs Ethereum and Ethereum needs Africa, because not just the population. Like I kept seeing us talk about, like, I'm actually very fascinated to see about the 1 million developers tried. And as much as possible, each, every African is looking for, in Web3 now, they're looking for how do they contribute. All of us, like personally, my story is very funny because I came in chasing airdrop in 2017, and 2018 I decided, no, I'm not going to chase airdrop anymore. I'm going to contribute. And contributing into the space have not just made me own Web3 Bridge. I've worked with projects, Hydro, Push, like I've done all of these things. And while I was doing that, I was like, okay, so this is the solution we have here. How do we domesticate the solution? Because we need to take the solution to our people. And for every developer that I've seen that have come through, everyone has come through in different ways. It's easy to say, okay, we want this person to contribute based on this and this, but then everyone in Africa has a different story to tell. Every African country has different specifics that are specific to them. Someone from Ghana is a bit different from someone from Nigeria. Someone from Kenya is a bit different from someone from Uganda. And we cannot assume that because we work with someone from Nigeria, for example, we have it all. No, we need someone from every of this country, any of this continent, so that we can have a perspective change. Good news is that we have now online communities where everyone belongs to, and we can now share cultures and traditions. We need the population in Africa. We need the perspective. There's a saying that Africa is poor, But you know the good part is Africa is not poor. The resources we have in Africa alone is enough to make the world boom. But then there's a need for reinvestment here. Africa is one place where impact will come. Like Africa is one place where we get impact. The impact here is like if you do I've seen a lot of projects say, oh, we're doing X million, whatever in this place. But then if you put $1 million in African markets, for example, to onboard not just developers, but say you want to onboard Web3 people, you'll be shocked that these Web3 people that you onboard as community managers in another 1 year are already aspiring by themselves without being motivated to become protocol developers. Now, these protocol developers are already thinking, okay, what next? So I've done it all, I've seen it all, what next? So we need that perspective. We need Africans that are able to read Vitalik's papers and are able to like break them down into bits and like, okay, so we've read about quadratic funding. What's quadratic funding doing generally? Like I love the way Kevin breaks down these documents. But then we need more Africans that understand this, that breaks it down. That is when Ethereum becomes like a voice. Like coming to Africa, you see that a lot of chains that are not EVM chains are doing well here because they understand what the market is. Like, for example, the market share that Binance have in Africa, I'm not sure any other protocol has it anywhere. Ethereum needs Africans to penetrate this. Like, we need to trust Africans to do this. And while we do that, we'll be surprised at the result. And I tell people, it's not just about now. Like one of the issues I've seen us have in the community is that we want to have like, okay, what's the result going to be now? Is a long-term goal. What's the long-term goal of Ethereum in Africa? We want to onboard 1 billion, 1 million developer in Africa. In how many years? 15 years, 20 years. How do we want to break it down? What's our 6 months, 5 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years focus that will get us to that point? If Web3 Bridge alone has trained over 150 developers directly in 4 years, and we have jointly with other project partners trained almost 800, 600 people that are now like working as developers, researchers, DevRel, and all of those stuff. Imagine we have Web3 Bridge all across Africa, like 54 countries in Africa. Let's say we divide into zone, the English speaking country, the Francophone, or do the East, the West division. And we have Web3 Bridge duplicated in all of these systems. We'll be shocked at the results we will see. We'll be shocked at the reward we will see from the grant level, like the product we will see, the quality of the product we will see is going to be more. Like we have on board in Nigeria, for example. We've had a laser P and all of this stuff. We need more of this. How do we get more of these guys? These guys are going to be the ones to onboard the Africans because they understand the African market. Most of our layer 2 protocols, most of our protocols per se, do not really understand what's on ground. I'm happy that we've start having people come in. Now, it's also like very shocking that most of the guys from Africa find it hard to go out to Europe, to the United States of America, to talk about what is happening on ground because visa is even one problem. Like I've seen over 7% that were denied visa for Dev Connect, for example. And these guys needed to have their voice over there. So we need to also start bringing these events down Africa to discuss, not just do a Telegram thing. A lot of things go missing in Telegram and Discord because a lot of assumptions. But when you come on the ground, you can see the impact yourself. It's easy when you drop like a drop of water here, you see the impact more because the level is dry, it's sandy, and you can see how the sand is absorbing the water. That's why I believe that Ethereum needs Africa because Africa has the population and I still maintain the intellect to give Ethereum a new shape. I'm seeing my friend and brother Sean of Polytop Lab is doing very amazing stuff on the protocol level. And that's our goal. We need to get so many people into that level. And imagine that we get so many African, let's say we have 50 protocol developers from Africa that are working on Ethereum, core Ethereum protocol. You imagine that perspective. Thank you very much. I'll take questions if there are. And for impact, Web3 has done so amazing well. We have, I'm sure for each ETHGlobal hackathon, you have Web3 Bridge alumni there. I'm sure for every protocol, every Discord group, you have Web3 Bridge alumni there, either the one that finishes or the one that came through, that learned through Web3 Bridge. So I'm happy to see us making global changes. I believe that in another 2 years, the story from Africa is going to change because in 2 years, we're going to have a number of Africans. We've had 150 from Web3 Bridge, 300 from other places. We need to get to a point where we have more protocol guys. Like they've done Solidity, they've done this, that. Let's get them to protocol. Let's put them together. Let's give them the access. Let's give them the funding. Let's give them the community. Sometimes they don't even need funding. They need the community that opens to them, that's ready to like push their ideas. Let's push their product. And we'll be shocked at the results we see in the community. So Web3 Bridge is a 16 weeks boot camp that trains Web3 developers. We started 2019, and at some point we discovered that a number of Web2 developers are not ready to come into Web3. So what we did is that we created a pipeline where we train Web2 developers who are ready to come into Web3. So we have two sources where we get our Web3 devs from our own training program in Web2. So we train people that doesn't understand coding at all, development at all. We bring them into Web3 through the Web2 program, or existing Web2 developers who already have like 5 years, 2 years, 3 years experience, 7 years, and coming into it. So 16 weeks, we start from, we do Solidity majorly. We train Solidity majorly in 16 weeks. We do the front end. Then we do security. This week, presently, the cohort that is ongoing is presently in security. And their security, what they're doing now, after, at the end of this week, they start their own product. So we allow them to bring their idea, they build product in 3 weeks. So over the years, what we've done, we have like accumulated experiences. We've run 9 cohorts successfully. Now, understanding that our goal is not just to train Web3 developers, as in Solidity developers, is like bring them from Web2 to Web3. And when they are comfortable in Web3, move them up the ladder. The ladder now is move them to protocol developer, move them to own their own startup, move them to work with other protocols, move them to do more for Africa. Like focus, to do that as focus. Also, uh sorry, I think I'm hearing like a lot of sound. So also, we believe that if we train African developers, they understand the continent. And at some point, after they've gone and gained experience working around the globe, they bring this experience back to grow the ecosystem here in Nigeria, in Africa. So we've done masterclass. A masterclass focus on this is what we do with masterclass. Masterclass is, so you have a protocol that is launching, say an EVM protocol that is launching, for example. Let's take Stacknet, for example, Stackware. We spoke with them at some point. We discovered, okay, they have a new Cairo language, and there are very few developers working on Cairo. We brought them in. We did a masterclass, brought developers from Web3 Bridge and other sister programs that are training developers together. We train these people. And the good part is that the guys that passed through the Cairo program, since the Cairo program finished, are like are like contributing at high level to Cairo as a product and as a protocol at this point. In fact, there was a tweet that I saw a month ago when the Lambda class partner with Cairo, the partner with Cairo, and Lambda class was saying they are going to bring their office to Nigeria because they've worked with developers, Cairo developers from Nigeria who came through Web3 Bridge to do Cairo masterclass. So the masterclass focus on helping developers upskill to become more better developer. So we do that with partnership with protocols and all. Then also our numbers are like there. Jointly, one of the things that Africa needs at this point is that we do not have the privilege of the West. You cannot do the experiment of the West because of funding and all of those stuff. So we are seeing these guys move from someone that needs like crumbs to owning a loaf of bread. Now they can afford to like buy their own bread, they can afford to make their own egg, and now they can afford to say, okay, now let's put this together and let's move up. So like Web3 Bridge over there, as our alumni, I was doing a number, and our alumni has like done over a million, 1.6 million dollars in salaries in just 4 years. Now imagine duplicating this across board and see the level of impact we are bringing to Africa. So benefit is open. We are lowering the barrier of entry because Web3 Bridge is teaching all for free. Like we house these developers, we feed them, we provide accommodation, we solve the problem of electricity, we solve the problem of internet. Their goal is come into Web3 Bridge, stay here and build, stay here and learn for 16 weeks. When they are done, we provide continuous monitoring. Monitoring in, we just do a check to say, how are you? Are you doing? Okay, what's the problem you are facing? And all of those stuff. One, also we create a community where they can always run to where they have problems. So those are Those are some of the things they are doing. And so far, Web3 we have sustained through grants and support from Ethereum, the network, Gitcoin, Polygon, and all of this stuff. So we are working to do more. We are partnering with other projects to do more. We are presently working with Aya.HQ. Aya is a sister program. They are also training developers, and they are working to do more around Accra and across Africa, like Web3 Bridge, and all of us are working together. So we are not just saying this is Web3, I want to like close it. No, we are making our curriculum open source because we are giving our curriculum to other projects to like learn. We have a curriculum that have lasted for 4 years, 9 cohorts, and believe that this is like ready enough. We do solidity, intro to solidity, we do account abstraction, diamond standard, and all of this and all of this stuff. So we believe that this is like ready for every market. Thank you very much.